It's always, like Lorenzo said, it's about going from here to here to here to here, and that's where I'm going. It's round in circles up. So it will continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger until I am finished.
Yo, what's going on? That video you just saw was from Conor McGregor. As you can see, he's very sure of himself. You know how there's some people, when you hear them speak, you just get sucked into whatever they're saying. They just speak with such conviction that you know you're going to listen to them. How there's some people, when they just kind of walk into the room, everyone can notice them. Do you want to learn that skill? This is called frame control. And this is one of the most important things that I've kind of seen work in any different avenue. Frame control is something that we all need to learn, essentially. So this skill set, the ability to walk into a room and sort of dominate it, is called frame control. And this is something that a lot of the people who kind of run the world have this. They have a very dominant frame. In this video, we're going to go into what frame control is, how you can develop it, and show you a couple different examples of what it means to have a strong frame. We're going to talk a little bit more about like why it is the most important thing that you could potentially ever learn as well. So what is a frame? A frame is simply our subjective view of the world. There is no real objective reality. There's simply just how people interpret the world, and that's literally how the world becomes. If you think the world is good, if you are optimistic about the future, most of the time it's going to turn out pretty good for you. But if you think the world is unfair, if you think people are bad, if you think everyone's out to get you, if you have like a victim mindset, then your brain is literally going to focus on ways that is true, on looking for evidence in the environment that kind of proves that hypothesis. So if you are a victim all the time, you are literally manifesting things bad to happen to you so you can remain the victim in your life.
Can I also just say that I smell? I just think to myself that I could probably never shower again and I wouldn't fucking notice. I literally disappoint my parents via breathing, to be honest. Every time I breathe in, my dad's like, oh. I'm like, excuse me?
How you see the world is quite literally how the world becomes. Now, the thing about frame control, we all have our own frame for how the world works, right? And this is why it's so important, because when two people meet each other, their frames are gonna collide, okay? And these frames, they don't mold, so like one person's belief becomes the other. This is why people are always like really in heated debates. People don't just have frames that like gently coincide together. When two people interact with each other, one person's frame is going to absorb the other one. And this sounds pretty violent, pretty brutal, but this is just simply something that happens. There's no real getting around it. This is just sort of a fact of life. Is people, when they encounter each other, their frames are going to collide, and whoever has the stronger frame is going to win the argument. Whoever has the stronger frame people are going to get sucked into that and sort of start believing the world is the way that other person believes it to be. So an example would be Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a guy I really admire, guy I really respect, but he charges money. If you wanted to get social media marketing from this guy, it would be about like a 1-year contract and about $20,000 to $30,000 every month if you want to do that. Now, if you look at the people who, like in some of the business groups that I'm in, or some of the people that I know, if they want to do social media marketing, they're going to charge $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month, or sometimes even less, you know? And it's literally just the frame of Gary thinking it's super valuable. It's the frame of Gary thinking that, yeah, like people deserve it. It's like, it's got an intense ROI, things like that. His frame is strong enough that he can actually charge people $20,000, $30,000 every single month. So he's making well over 6 figures for just one client. So who are people in the world who have a strong frame? Obviously, regardless of how you feel about Donald Trump, he has one of the strongest frames out of anyone that I've ever seen in my life. And this is just like, he's pretty much a poster child for the benefits of having a strong frame. If you were to look at what he did, he's the president. He's the president of fucking United States at the moment. He became the president with 0 qualifications. He's the most unqualified president in history. And he literally just got there because he has a very strong frame of the world. He thinks he deserves it. He doesn't sit there as like people are saying, like, oh, you got to become the senator first. You got to become this first. You know, you have to like climb the ladder. He skipped that part. He skipped the climbing the ladder aspect of it, and he literally just became the fucking president because he thought he deserved it, you know? So if that doesn't tell you how valuable just simply having a strong frame is, I don't know what to tell you. Another person is Conor McGregor. He has an unbreakable frame. People are always talking about like the strength of his mindset and the strength of his self-belief in himself. And he was able to predict when he was going to knock out opponents, like regardless of where you feel that that Conor McGregor is now, hitting old men in bars or his funny like situations that he's getting himself in. He's always getting arrested for whatever reason. Regardless of how you feel about the guy, his frame is so strong, and his frame helped carry him to a place where he believed that he deserved to make hundreds of millions of dollars. His frame helped him set up a fight with Floyd Mayweather. This is something that no one had ever done crossover of anything like this before. This is something completely uncharted territory that he was able to do, on top of like having skills and all this, but like it was literally just his frame and his belief that like he deserved this, and it helped him to get to a certain level, right? And this is pretty much true of every single very successful person you meet. They have a strong frame of how reality works, and you can't really break it down. So the stronger your frame, the better. When you hear Conor McGregor talking, you can hear when he says something, he doesn't have any justification for it. He doesn't like say like, hey, here's what my credentials are. He literally just says something and he believes it fully with no doubt, and people tend to believe it as well, right? So it's something very, very interesting listening to this guy talk, because he's actually able to bend reality to his will just with like the beliefs that he has on the topic. So now, why do you need to develop a strong frame? Well, because everyone else has their own frame. So you have a frame of the world. If you feel that people are mean to you, if you feel that that the world is bad, that you're a victim of some sort, that's literally your frame manifesting that in the world. So we want to take it like regardless of if you're actually developing a strong frame, or regardless of what you're doing. You are developing a frame regardless. So it's beneficial that you develop a proper one that is really going to help you. If you don't develop a strong frame, you're going to get walked all over. Every romantic relationship you're going to be in, you're going to be coming from a beggar position. You're going to be coming from a lower position. If you're in business, you're going to become, people are going to walk all over you. If you go into a job interview, you're like kind of begging, like, hey, please give me a job, blah, blah, blah. Whereas if you come from a strong frame, you're actually going to be able to kind of direct conversations to be beneficial for you. And it's better for other people to get strong frames as well, because then you're going to have to like get an even stronger frame. It's not like a big competition thing, but in a way it is kind of a competition thing. But overall, you want as strong of a frame as possible, and competition is how you're going to do it. So that's why it's good to kind of interact with people who have opposite ideas as you, and be able to figure out and like really hammer on exactly what it is that you believe, and be able to say it with conviction. If you develop a strong frame, you're going to have better job opportunities. You're gonna have better dating opportunities. Your friends are going to respect you more. Your family's gonna respect you more. All of your colleagues, everyone is gonna respect you more, because you have like a stronger frame. You're more set in your beliefs, and you actually are standing for something. So don't worry about like, oh, does everyone like me? What matters is like, do I have a strong frame? How do I envision the world? And am I sticking to that vision? Do I have integrity with that vision? Am I like living through that? And if you are, people are really, really going to respect you. And one of the things in terms of having a strong frame, you're going to be able to say what you believe with conviction. So I believe wholeheartedly that having a strong frame is one of the most important things that you can possibly do in your life. Our beliefs are really changing how it is that we interact with the world, things like that. I heavily believe in that. And if you say something with conviction, this is one of the cognitive biases. If you say something with conviction, people in their brain, they assume that you have gone through all of the opportunities to like all of the counter evidence and all the things that are against it. People assume that you've already done that, and that's why you're able to speak with conviction. Whereas if they find that you're like, okay, here's this, but here's the other side of the coin. We aren't really sure about this. We don't have evidence for this. Studies have found that you actually become less. You seem less trustworthy, because you're like hitting up other opportunities, like other possibilities and things like that. So it's pretty funny that if you're just a dummy who has a strong frame, people are going to trust you more and believe more of what you're saying. And again, like if you look at Donald Trump, if you look at any of like Conor McGregor, they say these things, and then the people who believe them are going to wholeheartedly believe them, and the people who don't are going to just think they're a fucking idiot. But it's like, how can that person believe it? You know? Whereas if you come at something with like, okay, here's a different opportunity, like here's a different way of looking at it, blah, 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 then it kind of confuses people, right? So we need to have a strong frame, strong conviction in what we say, and don't dilly-dally about like confusing details, right? Don't get caught up in the details of anything. It's like simply just, boom, here's how it is. So how do we develop a strong frame? This is the next question. So when I first started my business to make money, I was selling things for about $300. After that, I've spent a few years figuring it out, and now we have offerings that are in the 5 figures. Like, you can buy a video from us for $15,000. Like, we have that as an option, and my frame is strong enough that I feel like people are like, it's worth it. Obviously, I'm not just like saying get a strong frame so you can rip people off, but I was able to actually take like feedback and stuff like that and build a better offering and realize what people are going to spend $15,000 on. So when people are asking, hey, can I get this for cheaper? Can I get this for cheaper? It's like, no, you can't. Here's how much it costs. Here's a strong frame. You can take it or leave it, and that's the thing in negotiations as well. If you have a strong frame and you're willing to walk away from it, then people are more likely to value. And in terms of like framing your offering, in terms of framing anything that you do, like making it seem valuable is very, very important. And if you don't take yourself valuable, if you don't frame yourself as valuable, people are going to walk all over you. People are going to think what you offer isn't valuable. Everything you do isn't valuable. No one's really going to respect anything if you don't have a strong frame saying, I'm worth this much. So the way that you can develop a strong frame, you could take a couple of years like I did, and you could just like figure out, okay, here's what I'm worth, here's what people are paying, here's here's the market rate, here's this. You can do this, and that's an effective way, and it's very beneficial for you for life. And you'll notice like now for me in business, being there for 3 years, I can never go back to selling something for like $300. That's like a joke to me. You know, I will never do that. And it feels good being able to like, you kind of level up and your frame gets stronger, and you're like, I won't even like get out of bed for this amount of money, right? So you're going to notice as your frame increases, you're going to feel more deserving. You're going to feel more entitled to bigger things, right? So you can do this to develop your frame, but there's a shortcut as well. You could also skip all of this, because you don't need to go up linearly, like, okay, $300, $400, you know, $500, $600. You don't need to actually do that when you're building your frame. You can actually look at sort of what you want to accomplish, and you can just be like, okay, the person who's going to accomplish this, what beliefs do they have? And then you can literally just fake it till you make it. That's a very legitimate thing here, is you just start acting like someone who has these beliefs in place already. And what's going to happen is people are going to test you. So people are going to see how legitimate that frame is. People are going to see like, okay, is this true what this person's saying, blah, blah, blah. And your frame is going to be tested, but that's also going to fortify it. You're going to be able to build a stronger frame based on that. So you can legitimately skip the I'm going to go like one thing you can do is just do your research and figure out your beliefs, figure out what you want to believe, what are going to help you the most, and then start developing a frame around that. The other thing that I was speaking about of like actually like going through and like testing things is called reference experiences. So if you feel that girls are mean, if you have like these weird thoughts in your head about like meeting girls or meeting the opposite sex or meeting someone to date, we'll just say meeting someone to date, and you have like these weird mental thoughts, like one of the best ways to actually like develop and change your frame, strengthen your frame, is to simply get reference experiences. Learn about what it is, like find out what you want to believe, and then go out and get reference experiences to reinforce that new identity, and that's going to build your frame in that identity. Now, one of the things that's very good about like building these strong frames is if you believe the world's great, you're going to have a strong frame. If your frame is that the world is beautiful, that everyone is valuable, that all this nice stuff, if you believe that, people are going to believe that as well. People are going to get pulled into that frame, and people are going to remember how you make them feel. If you make someone feel very good when they're with you, if every time they see you, they feel impossibilities, they feel like the sky is the limit, everyone is going to want to stick with that, you know? You're really going to be bringing a lot of positivity into the world by just having a strong frame and not letting like people's depressive thoughts kind of get to you, by not buying into like what mainstream media is going to be telling you about like how the world is unsafe and all this. Like if you really believe that like you're just very optimistic, if you believe the world is a good place, if you believe people genuinely matter, and you come at this like you have a strong frame in regards to that, you're really going to elevate people to also believe that. you're literally changing the way people view the world, even if it's just for a brief time, just when they're meeting you. But as well, on top of that, if they know you and get to hear you a lot, like, you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most, right? So if you hang out with people and they believe a certain thing, you're going to tend to believe these same things that other people feel, right? So make sure that you're constantly testing your frame and making it bigger. And then also, if you go into a job interview and you come from a beggar frame, you're like, okay, like, what do you guys need? Yeah, I'll do that. And you're just letting people walk all over you. You're not really differentiating yourself, right? When you walk into a job interview and you believe that you deserve this job, you're not going to be like, okay, like, I don't want to say anything that'll screw this up. You're going to be like, okay, I'm not here to, like, sell myself. I'm here to figure out what they need and see if it even makes sense that I'm going to get, like, that I'm the right fit for them. I don't want to work for them if I'm not the right fit. You know? Like, you're not coming from a beggar frame. You're like, I know how valuable I am. I know what I bring to the table. I want to see if what I can bring to the table is beneficial for what they need, right? And that's going to be very beneficial for your life. You're setting yourself apart in the minds of all these people when you approach them from this perspective, right? You're going to be more personable to be around. You're literally caring about what they need and see if you are a right fit, you know, because you have a strong frame about who you are, what you bring to the table, and why they can benefit from working with you, right? So you're not coming at it like, oh, what do they want to hear, like all this shit. It's like you have like a weak frame, you know. It's just like we're looking to build something solid here. The benefits of a strong frame are literally limitless. As we've seen, with the strong frame, 0 credentials, you can actually become the president of the United States. So if that doesn't tell you how beneficial having a strong frame is, I don't know what will. So in conclusion, a frame is simply the way someone looks at the world. And our frame literally is what our reality becomes. So if you believe a certain thing, then that's what reality is going to do. You're going to look for things in the environment that tell you that. So you need to develop a strong frame for how the world works, or for how people interact with you, for what you're worth, and have a strong frame about, like, your beliefs and everything like that. And then you're going to be able to absorb other frames. And it's good if you can, if you have a positive frame, a very strong positive frame, and then you're going to be able to share that with other people and help bring them up. You're going to seem more believable, even if you're lying, even if you are a liar. You're going to seem a lot more trustworthy because you're talking from conviction. You have a strong frame, you have a strong belief in something, right? If you have a strong frame, you're going to get more opportunities your way. If you have a strong frame of, like, optimism, you're going to have more opportunities come to you. If you have a strong frame of pessimism, you're going to get more pain brought to you. So it's good that we develop our frame either way, because even if you fall into a negative thing and you have, like, a very, very strong negative frame, it's going to help the rest of us kind of overcome that. So when we're encountered with someone with a strong negative, like value-taking frame, we're going to be able to kind of, like, overcome that, right? So it's important that even if you're watching this and you want to become a negative person, but I'm guessing most people don't. Most people don't, but you never know. You never know. Some people may just want to just, like, watch the world burn or whatever the fuck, right? So if you're watching this, I'm guessing probably not. But it's good to have people with strong negative frames as well, because it's going to help us to kind of overcome that, to change from, we need to overcome this hatred, this like disgust, blah, 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 with pure love, pretty much, right? So it's going to help with that as well. This subject, this is something I'm very passionate about. You've seen videos of mine that like I've done Pitch Anything. I've talked about frame control quite a bit on this channel already. And I just wanted to, if you like this video, I would highly recommend, please, por favor, subscribe and hit that bell icon so you can be notified the next time we post stuff. This is kind of the new direction that the channel is going to be taking, is you're going to see my face a lot more. And I'm sorry about my weird hair. Working on it. I'm gonna get a cut soon, but I just wanted to make this quick video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get a lot out of it, and I look forward to hearing your comments and how you feel about it. Take care.